Hey, this is a demo review for Lathil's Escape, and I've got Luke here with me.
Hello.
So let's start off here. I'm gonna make this slow at the start here, so we can sort of talk about the start. Um, because one thing you want to try and avoid in the start is doing like bigger redirects. Like you really want to sort of have it to where when you start, you jump like at least the way I do it is I jump like far right here, and then like far to the back left. Like hold on, he does it mostly, but sort of jump to where I'm like over here on the left side, um, just so that like I don't have as much of a chance at hitting Wheatley, and I can still maintain speed because I'm going in these far directions without having to redirect.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Looks like he kind of does it here.
Mm-hmm. It looks like maybe he's just not fully committing, but I think it's one of
Yeah,
the big differences between a lot of the lower 27s and then like the 26s and like Zepe's run and stuff.
yeah, and I know for me, I don't think I really do that. I stay more to the right, but then I take a really specific line to try and not hit him, and it's really kind of a hassle to do. I think I'll go try and be more to the left there. That's a really good idea.
All right, and then one thing I do here is, which is what he also does here, is like a pretty big circle jump around this corner. Like the time you save redirecting on the other hops, like doing quick redirects on the other hops, is time that I spend like getting a big circle jump here to make this hop save easy. I'm sure you could cut a little bit of time from it if you're really good at strafing, but it's a big help for this hop save coming up.
Yeah, for sure. Because you need a ton of distance here in
Yeah.
order to really do the redirect in the air
Mm-hmm.
around this pipe.
Yeah, and you
This is
see,
like,
I think almost everybody does it as like a at least like miniature circle jump.
yeah, and like I would say the way you really want to do it is you want to it's kind of a blend between a circle jump and slowing down under 300 speed so you get control and then curving in the air.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like this is one of those really weird corners to turn,
Yeah,
but
it's
once
just
you get a feel for it,
it's just
it's
important that
nice.
you get it in two hops. That's like the most important thing, and then you can min max the rest of it a little later. But just like you want to make sure you're getting it in two hops, like getting to this point where you
Yeah,
curve around the corner. And then I,
yeah.
just hug far right, obviously. It seems like you aim that shot just fine. Like I find shooting it. I think if you shoot it when it feels more appropriate, you tend to hit this like pipe here because it has like a giant hitbox. So I think
Mm.
shooting it later actually helps in my experience, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Gotcha. Yeah. I know for me, when I switched over from doing one extra hop after I turned the corner
Mm-hmm.
to doing the correct amount of hops, like it was a challenge adjusting to shoot it early enough
Mm-hmm.
because if you're doing an extra hop there, like most people who haven't really paid a ton of attention to the start will do,
Mm-hmm.
then shooting that portal lines up really well with one of the jumps that you do.
Yeah, yeah.
And when you're going fast enough to be like near world record pace, that jump, the tube is in the way. So you have to kind of almost shoot it like
Like
when you're
mid
in the
jump, yeah,
air
yeah.
and on the way down, and that's really awkward. But yeah,
All right, and then another big thing, like this is one of the only things that I like. It's hard to find things to pick out at your runs, so I'm more just like generalizing for a lot of these things early on. But like this is a big one. It's just like hugging into this corner as quick as possible. Like if you have a little more speed here, you can hug so much harder right and fall through that portal a lot quicker. It's something you'll notice about like world record run is that like he's just going through that portal a lot quicker, and there's no chance like regardless of turret RNG that you get a shot there. So that's like a smaller thing. And then Luke noticed something here with these hops. So I'll let Luke talk about that.
all right, yeah. So let's keep our eyes on that little C in the bottom left here, because when I was watching it without the eye HUD, it seemed like he might have crashed some of these. It doesn't look like he is,
I bet
but
he crouches this
he's like
last one.
crouching just this redirect, which like I don't know, man. That's kind of whatever to me. He was too far
Mm-hmm.
when he
Agreed.
got to that corner, and so if
So
he
maybe
wanted to
he
crash
aimed
on that
to.
redirect, like Yeah, you could go either way on that
Mm-hmm.
one, given what came before it.
But yeah.
But this is a speed control section. Like
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to be doing any redirect on this rail before you get to jumping around the tube.
Yep. And this is one of the main issues that I noticed when seeing your run, and I was really disappointed in myself because I had this exact same thing happen in my run that I did that PB'd like minutes after I watched your run. So I did the exact same mistake. But yeah, you don't want to end up in a position where you have too much speed to where you end up at the corner of this railing here. Let's go into drive. And you have to redirect. Like in theory, you should be landing farther back here and just being able to sort of like you have under 300 velocity, so you're able to like put up a hop like here ish, and then you can just get around the corner fairly easily.
Yeah. So like all of the time that you spend on the ground here
Mm-hmm.
is just pure time loss.
Yeah, and then sort of because of the way that you ended your hops, like you have to overcorrect to the right here a little bit, I think. And it ends in you overcorrecting to the left a little bit, and this hop just looks really slow to me for some reason. Like I don't know if it actually lost
Yeah.
time, but it just looks a little slow. And then in theory, you should
So
land a little farther up.
yeah, it looks like you landed in a pretty good spot here, but you did do a crouch hop to get there. And I would say just for all of those hops on the railing here after you exit the portal, you don't want to crouch any of them except for debatably the very last one before you land on the stairs.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it's just not crouching any of the jumps saves time on every jump over crouching because you get less distance. It's easier to deal with the spacing, and also like less air time because standing jumps are lower than crouch jumps.
Yeah, airtime can be advantageous if you're just trying to run down a straight line and fit as much strafing as you can into it, but if you're especially in like speed control sections where you're trying not to over strafe, like you really don't need crouching. So and then like ideally you just like start jumping immediately and like get really sick stair hops. Yours are bad-ish, but like honestly it's just RNG. So like, good
Yeah,
luck. Hopefully you get good stair hops because it makes a big difference in the ending. But if not, I like the way you recover these is pretty well. Like you CTG the end here, which is important. But in theory, what you want to have happen is you have a lot of speed coming towards this corner, so you can really nerf like this last hop here, like spend like an extra little bit of time on the ground and just like do a like an in-air redirect around this corner as opposed to having to do a big like on-ground redirect, which for your hop pattern probably was fine, but like if you get the better hop pattern from the better stair boost, doing that is ideal.
yeah, and like I would say on most runs it'll end up being something similar to what you did, but you could probably just get away with less time on the ground there in general, like maybe 0.1 or something.
Yeah, I think this one it's more important to be sure that you have a really strong redirect to make this 3 hop here. But for the ending, like you really just want to turn this corner as quick as possible. Like your redirect here is just way too long because with the CTGing on the end, like it's so lenient with the hops here because like if you're tryharding these hops and if you're doing a redirect like this, you should be hitting like the top here every single time. So like you're gonna have to
Yeah,
slow down your hops anyway, so you might as well just do the world's like quickest, dirtiest redirect, and then just if it was really slow, just make up the time with CTGing and better hops at the ending.
yeah, like as long as you're in a good position for that last redirect, there's pretty much no way